morning, guys. Today in this session we'll see what is the super mesh, and we'll solve one problem based on super mesh. Okay, super mesh is, for example, if you have a circuit like this. So, and if you have, for example, you have a source like this. Okay. So here, how many meshes are there? This is mesh 1, this is mesh 2, mesh 3. So in this, there is no super mesh equation. So we can't find the super mesh is, how we'll find is, for example, in this circuit, I'm having volt current source. Let us say I'm representing the same circuit, but I gave current source here. And again, I want another circuit. These are the different circuits I am giving you to justify what is the super mesh. So the super mesh, according to the definition, is when current source present between two meshes. So when the current source present between two meshes, then the other two meshes will become one super mesh. Okay, then the other two meshes, when the current source present between the two meshes, then these two meshes, then the two meshes will become one mesh, that is super mesh. Okay, the super mesh is nothing but the combination of two meshes where you will have a current source in between that. Okay, in this there is a provision to have a current source between two meshes. This is one mesh, this is one mesh, this is one mesh, but we are having a current source in third mesh. There is no provision of super mesh here. Now if you see, this is a mesh 1, this is mesh 2, mesh 3. So here there is a one current source between two meshes. Therefore here mesh 1 and 2 form a super mesh. Okay. Now if you consider here, this is one mesh, this is one mesh, mesh 3. Here there is a provision of by 1 and 2 form super mesh. Okay. So observe carefully, guys. This mesh 1 and mesh 2 having a current source in between these two meshes. Therefore mesh 1 and mesh 2 form a super mesh. Here also mesh 1, mesh 2 has a current source, but you are having a resistance here. Even though you have resistance here, then also it is said to be super mesh. Well, but in super node, if you have a resistance between the two nodes, that is, let us say this is V1 and V2, then it is V1, V2 is not super node. Okay, not super node. Without having resistance only, this thing will become super node. But here, even though you have the resistance, it is become a super mesh. Even though you're not having, also become a super mesh. Okay. So you need to do carefully. What are the equations we are having? We'll see. Here this is the voltage V. I am editing R1, and this is, let us say, the R2, R3, R4, R5, and current source value, let us take some value 10 volts, 10 amps, and this is 20 volts. Okay. Okay, for this want to diagnose super mesh. So directly you will see, if you wish to draw KVL, so mesh analysis means KVL. So you will have a minus V plus R1 into I1. If you assume current I1, this is current I1, this is current I2, and this is current I3. Okay, so I1 R1 plus R2 into I2, but here you can't do the voltage between this because you are having a current here. Let us say this is 5 amps. So therefore you will have obstacle of doing KVL. Therefore now the super mesh thing is acting. So we will directly say that mesh 1 and 2 form super mesh. Okay, then the super mesh equation will become, from left side of this current source, this mesh will do minus V plus R1 into I1. Now don't consider this R2 value. Okay, while doing the super mesh, the current source which is having present here, so you're not indulged here. We need not to find the voltage across R2. Okay, isolate this. Now if you observe carefully, if you're not having these elements, this entire 1 and 2 form one mesh, that is super mesh. Okay, so for example, I'm not showing these two elements are not present. For example, now this V1, R1, R3, R4 form one mesh, that is super mesh. Now we have to find the equation for that. Minus V R1 over I1 is currently flowing. Now for this R3 element, which current is flowing? I2 current is flowing, plus R4 into I2 minus I3. So this current for this R4, the current, let us assume I is flowing. So this, to find this current, we need to find I2 minus I3. Okay, this is super mesh equation. Now again by inbuilt super mesh equation, that is source and I1 I2, we have I1 minus I2. So current source is flowing downwards, therefore I1 minus I2 equal to 5. This is equation 2. Now here in the entire super mesh equation you are neglecting R2 in order to do R2. Okay, now similarly R3 in third equation is I3 equal to, directly you are having current source, there 10 amps. So you're getting 3 equations, all that equations you will get I1, I2, I3. Likewise, similar to these equations, you will follow this also. Okay, so we'll solve now like dependent source sum. So I want to give a quick review. So I'm taking to explain the super mesh one circuit. Again, many people find difficulty in finding solving this type of questions. So based upon your response only, the students which are giving me asking me doubts, based upon that time only I am concentrating, because many of you may not ask me, many of you hesitate to ask, but the people who are already asked these questions, I am solving for you also. Okay, this may be useful for you. Okay, so here the circuit is I gave. Now current, this is what current dependent voltage source. This current, this voltage source depending on the current flowing from in this branch. Okay, now he is asking find power delivered and power absorbed or power dissipated, absorbed. Okay, so by mesh analysis, if you see carefully, I'm having 3 meshes. Let us say this is mesh 1, I'm taking as current I1, and mesh 2 I'm taking current I2, and mesh 3 current I3. So in this you're having between 2 meshes we are having current source. Therefore 2, 3 form one super mesh. Like from mesh 1, normal apply KVL. So how will apply? So from starting from here, the voltage across 3 minus 3 plus 1 into I1 plus 2 into I1 minus I2, I1 minus I2 equal to 0. So further calculating this, take 3 I1 minus 2 I2 equal to 3. Okay, this is equation 1. Now already we know that 1, 2, 3 form one super mesh. 1 and 3 form super mesh. Okay, the super mesh equation is, so while doing super mesh, you neglect this branch. Now find the current. The voltage is across every element 2, 1, 2, this 3. So the voltage across 2 is, let us state 2. So I'm doing clockwise direction. So I'm assuming current is flowing from bottom to top. That is current. Let us say I, this current. So I will represent this current flowing from top to bottom. Let us say I2 ohm. So I2 ohm is 2 into I2 is also flowing from bottom to top ohm, but I1 is flowing from top to bottom. Therefore 2 into I2 ohm is I2 minus I1 plus 1 into I2. So 1 into I2. So neglecting this branch here, and 2 into plus 2 into I3 plus 2 into IA equal to 0. So what is the value of IA? So here IA equal to what? Current flowing through branch 1, so I1. So substitute this here, you will be getting a value of so 2I2 minus 2I1 plus I2 plus 2I3 plus 2I1 equal to 0. So cancel both things, you will get 3I2 plus 2I3 equal to 0. This is equation 2. So again, this the normal mesh you get, but inbuilt you have another equation by super mesh, that is, so I3, so we need 4 amps current is flowing through this 4 amp voltage current source. I3 is in same direction to the source, I2 in another direction. Therefore I3 we take positive minus I2 equal to 4 equal to 3. Or you can find and you can do KCL at this node. If your current source is going from this to point, if KCL at those node means, let us take current like this. This current is I3 and this current is I2. At this node, entering current is 4 amps. Entering current is 4 amps and plus I2, and the leaving current is I3. Therefore from this you get I3 minus I2 equal to 4. So directly you can apply KCL at this node, or you can directly by directions also you can draw this equation. Now you got 3 equations. We have 3 meshes. Solving 1, 2 and 3, you get I1 equal to minus 1.15 amps, I2 equal to minus 8 by 5 and I3 equal to 12 by 5. Okay, so this is the currents we got. Now we need to find the power delivered by each element. So power delivered by 3 volts is, I'm taking this as a source, that is the voltage P, power equal to what? Voltage into current. So we are having voltage a value of 3 volts and the current I1, so I1, so 3 into minus 1.15, so you got minus 0.2 volt. So here the main thing, V 3 volts equal to what? Minus 0.2 volt. So here we are thinking this is as a source, but we got minus, therefore this is acting as a load. Okay, now the power delivered by 4 amps. So I'm taking this as a source, source, therefore we have to assume terminals like this. Okay, the power delivered by 4 amps equal to, what is the voltage means here? Voltage across this branch, that is the voltage across, if you want to find voltage across this branch, you can find voltage across these 2 branches also. So the P into, let us say, the 4 amps current into V 4 amp, voltage across this branch. So voltage across this branch means V 4 amps, let us say, is the voltage between voltage of 2 amps and 3 amps. That is 2 into I3 plus 2 IA. So 2 into I3 means 12 by 5 plus 2 IA means IA equal to 1. So 2 into IA, what is the value of IA? that is I1 value minus 1 by 15. So you get the value of voltage V as a value of 14 by 3. So substitute this here, you will getting 4 into 14 by 3, that is the value of 18.66. So P4 amps is 18.66 watt. Okay, now the power delivered by this thing, power delivered by 2 IA. Okay, now we are assuming that current is delivering, power is delivering. That was, we have to assume that current is flowing in the top direction. Okay, that means 2 IA, the value of voltage, and the current is, already we know that I3 is flowing like this. So if we take minus I3, we consider minus I3, that is we want to find voltage power across this, that is we are assuming current I3 opposite of that, to show that this is a current power delivered by the source. Therefore, if we get 2 IA means what? Minus 1.15. I3 is what? Minus 12.5. So the multiplication of this, you get a value of 0.32. Therefore, the dependent source, that is TIA, you got the positive value. Therefore, it is acting as a load source here. Okay. So this is a source, this is a load, this is a load. Okay. Now the power delivered by two elements only. The power delivered by, power is delivered by P4M plus P2A, that is equal to 18.66 plus 0.32, that is will be equal to the value of 18.98 watt. Okay, now we have to find the power dissipated. The power dissipated by 1 ohm. So the power dissipated by 1 ohm is I1 square into 1 amp, 1 ohm, that is equal to minus 1 by 15 whole square, that is the value of 4.44 into 10 power minus 3 amps, 10 power minus 3 watt. The power delivered by 2 ohm, this 2 ohm is current flowing from this 2 ohms, that is I1 minus I2 whole square or I2 minus I1 whole square. You will be getting 2 into I1 minus I2 whole square, that is the value of 4.7 watt. The power delivered by another 1 ohm, this is 1 ohm, that is current flowing through the 1 ohm is I2 square, therefore I2 square into 1, you will be getting a value of 2.56 watt. And the power delivered by this 2 ohm equal to, the current flowing through the 2 ohm is I3 square into 2. This will be a value of 11.52 watt. So the total power dissipated or absorbed is equal to, so the power, this element is dissipating the power, this is acting as a load, therefore we'll add that P3 watt plus P1 ohm plus P2 ohm plus P1 ohm plus P2 ohm plus P2 ohm. Okay, so the how many value you will get, will add, so you have to keep plus here, 0.2 plus P1 ohm value is 4.44 into 10 power minus 3 plus 4.7 plus 2.56 plus 11.52. So adding all these things, you will be getting 0.2 into 0.44 into 10 power minus 3 plus 4.7 plus 2.56 plus 11.52. So you will be getting exactly 18.78 watt. So the power delivered is 18.98, which is very much equal to power absorbed. Therefore, power delivered is almost equal to power absorbed. So what is the thing? Main thing is, so even this is a independent source, this is acting as a load here. You need to answer carefully. the entire power is delivered by this voltage source, this current source, and this dependent source, and this is acting as a load here. So that's why I choose this circuit to tell about. So in many cases, not only this not only the independent source act as a source, but is also acting as a load. So that's why you'll get confusions while solving. If you get negative means, what do you people do? This axis, this thing, you will think this as a source, therefore you will add these three elements, and you will also find the dissipation. You may almost, you may not get equal values. Okay, thank you guys. In the next classes I'll solving the ACs and analysis, and I need to you two guys to follow and share to your friends. Thank you guys.